Okay, fishing crafts of Sri Lanka. Right. So if you consider the different types of fishing crafts being used in Sri Lanka, um, since the ancient time, we have been using a different type of fishing craft or different type of crafts for fishing. Here I have mentioned some of the few of examples. For example, like a very simple form of fishing craft like a teppam. I'm pretty sure that you have heard about this called teppam. And this is called Wallam, and this is actual Wallam Oru. Like the Wallam and the Oru is like in Oru you have usually outrigger, right? To balance, there is a part we call the outrigger, right? Like in most of the Oru in Sri Lanka, they have a outrigger as well, so which keep the balance, right? And this oruva can be different types because based on the fishing method they are using, they can be named like a bala oruva, like a del oruva, like is pila oruva, right? And madal oruva, right? It's based on the purpose of use. This is cut to del oruva, like the fishing method we previously discussed about the cut to del. So they have sort of a specific, I mean, not it's not huge differences, but they name it with their type of fishing gear that they're being using, right? With minor differences in the craft, right? So basically, there are two types of fishing crafts: the log craft, like attaching few logs in a horizontal way, and they form a very simple form of fishing craft. Like Kattumaram and Teppang is the best example. Very simple. You might have seen this in the lagoons and even in the coastal zone. The others are actually dug out logs, like you have to dig in a like in the logs, and they make like most of the Oru are like this kind of a dugout. Like so, there are different types of dugout. They are the Orus and Paru. The Oru and Paru. Uh, most of the cases, actually, the Paru is not for fishing. Actually, they are for transportation. You know that, especially for uh, moving between across a river, they use Parus for way of transportation, like in Parua and Angula, likewise many different ways of, but the Oru or the canoes, uh, different types of dugout canoes, it's being used in Sri Lanka, right? So again, these are not to be memorized anything, you just need to know very basic things about the right different of types of rafts or the log raft, right? As well as the canoes, like the in this um, image on your left, you can see in different areas in Sri Lanka have been using different type of fishing gear, fishing craft, like in the Vallam and Kattumaram, the simple form of like Kattumaram and Teppam, very simple, even the Vallam. As even the names imply, they are actually very much in the northeast areas where get a lot of influence from the India. This Kattumaram and Vallam actually very popular in India. So that's how they got influenced about this fishing gear from that side. But in the southern areas, like the popular Sinhalese people, where these areas, they have the traditional fishing vessels are the Oru, or the with these outriggers are the popular method among the Sinhalese people. So that's how we get these Orus and some Parus, right? So on the right, you can see different type of teppam made of fiberglass as well as wooden. And the the oru or the canoes, right? And even now the larger fishing boats, right? And all these, the paru, as you can see, for transportation than fishing, different types of, they are like a double hull. You see, for stability, they put a double hull. And should it call hull, or it's not, it's like two boats joined together, right? Usually double hull is like in the ships, they have double hulls. Right. Uh, Different types of canoes, especially seagoing outrigger canoes, we call sailboats, right? Um, there has been some sailboats that's being used in Sri Lanka for fishing, especially here. You see this sailboat, very popular scenery in Negombo even now, even especially in the afternoon hours. You will see hundreds of these the sailboats in like a flock of these boats moving in the Negombo, just in front of the Negombo city. Beautiful scenery there. There's a lot of tourists coming to see this scenery. All right, so there are the different type of craft again. Even this called the houseboats, you see this, as you can see in the historical time, this is Kalani River. They are used these floating boats as houses. Right. Now even I think in the PETA there is some like something similar, but I mean historically they have been used this kind of thing. But anyway, they are not really for fishing, right? So this is the catamaran. Oh, actually they are more the outrigger canoe or the sailboats that which I was talking about in the Negombo. They use this the wind for sailing, like using the wind. So again, you need a lot of skill. You know how to do this one. Like you know, in under any wind condition, they can go either way, right? No matter what the direction of the wind, but even you can go against sometimes the wind, right? So from the way that they arrange this the sail, right? So that's why I need to develop the skills for this one, right? So that's catamaran. And actually term has come from the Tamil kattumaran, the, the, the type of craft that we discussed before, but it's not the same, the craft, but the British people use this term, the kattumaran, as catamaran, but they use for these sailboats. Right, so that's a little bit to the history, and these are the popular type of outrigger canoes or the oru, and this oru can be different types of oru. As you would see here, they can be like very large oru, especially in the east coast. In some areas, there's huge outrigger canoes. Maybe even made of wooden, and some are even made of fiberglass, right? Even very large type of canoes you would see now in the museums. I took these photographs from the Koggala in the museum, right? In the Koggala Museum, where sitting several of these kind of a different type of canoes used for like boats, used for traditionally used for fishing. In this case, is a bala oru. You know, that's the pole and line fishing we discussed before. This is specifically designed for that purpose. You can see two hulls here, because the big one and a small one. The small one actually for carrying the live bait. Right? They have to carry the live bait for their fishing. So they have accessory fishing vessel going with this. And that's how this called a Bala Orwa. It's a huge vessels. If you have any chance to, or you might have already seen this, right? You can see how big they can be, right? So, right, that's why they are called a dugout canoes, because it's a huge log has been used for this purpose, right? And the smaller one is called the Emma Orwa. It's for the bait, right? It's for use for bait, right? All these are from the same museum, used for different purposes, right? So they are only sitting in now. This is again a huge craft that has been used traditionally for operating a madal or the beach seines, because beach seine is a huge one to accommodate this big net. So they have used this what you call the madal, or it's a huge one. Again, in the Koggala Martin McCumming a museum, you can see this, right? This is Wallam crafts, a common feature in the northeastern region. If someone from there, you will see it's in Nigam Sir Jaffna Lagoons, and you will see these kind of crafts. From that, we have developed into like a more commercial type of fishing craft. This kind of a boat is very common. It's called, generally we call it as a fiberglass boats, which has no much meaning. I mean, there are many different type of fiberglass boat, but it's the actual name is FRP boards because it's a fiber reinforced plastic. That's how we call the fiberglass, fiber reinforced plastic. That's the material used actually. It's not only for this craft. Almost all fishing craft now made of FRP. But this particular type we call small fiberglass boats, just the name, right? They can be a different type of fishing crafts, right? All these craft actually manufactured or designed in Sri Lanka. There are so many factories in Sri Lanka. They are manufacturing the fishing craft and fishing craft, yeah, from a smaller one to very large ones as well. So again, none of these for you to memorize, just for you to know, right? So this kind of a large fishing craft which can be used for multi-day fishing, right? So they can be used for multi-day fishing. From that to a very large, this kind of a fishing crafts with a lot of storage facilities. Some of the fishing crafts with now they are manufacturing with like a built-in refrigerators, which can stay in the ship for a quite long period of time, right? Now, there's one thing you need to know, that is the different classification of fishing craft in Sri Lanka. This is something you need to know a little bit, right? And just this slide, that is the classification of fishing craft. As per the Department of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources, they have 6 categories of fishing gear, fishing crafts. They are classified based on the engine, whether it's inboard engine or outboard engine. Like in this case, inboard engine multi-day boat, that's we call IMUL, right? Inboard engine multi-day boat is IMUL, and inboard engine single day boat is IDAY, right? So likewise, outboard engine fiberglass reinforced plastic. So the proper name for that fiberglass boat is OFRP actually, right? So outboard engine fiber reinforced plastic gear, so craft, and the others are the MTRB, is called the motorized traditional boats, right? So traditional boats, but they are motorized, then they call MTRB. Then the others are non-motorized traditional boats, they call NTRB. This is MTRB and this is NTRB. And the last type, the inland fishing craft, like they are like a different type of inland fishing craft, they call, right? So what is important, you see, in the boat, just like a vehicle, there is a number plate, right? A number plate. In that number plate, the category of fishing craft is mentioned there, like IMUL. This one is a multi-day fishing boat, right? And they have a unique identification number, and it will be followed by another 3 letters. Usually that 3 letters represent the district or the fishery harbor it's being registered. I don't know what is TLF, but in this one is MTR is the Matara. Likewise, if it is Tengol, it will like a TGL, something like that. So they have a unique 3 codes. To just looking at that, you can see it's where it's been registered, in which fishery harbor, or rather which districts belong to. Right. So that's the the fisheries department's classification of fishing crafts, right? And other than that, there can be huge fishing craft which are not found in Sri Lanka. They can be like a extremely large as well as purposely built fishing craft, something like for different purposes, and can be very large ones as well. And most of the cases, actually, these fishing craft are we call custom built, right? Because the way you wanted, they are built just like a ships. Almost all the ships in the world, they are like custom built. There is no like a manufactured ships. So just like the planes, even planes, I mean, they are, of course, there is a basic model, but you can like customize this thing. Similarly, even the fishing boats are, you can customizable. You can get it the way you want it, right? So this particular fishing boat in Sri Lanka, actually, it's like purposely built for like for the sport fishing. You see, there is a deck where the people can do fishing, right? So it's purposely built for that purpose, right? Even like some boats are designed for like diving, right? And this is a multi-day fishing vessel. You would see this in Negombo, right? And there can be a large fishing craft even in Sri Lanka. Now I got this image from I've got this photograph in Dikovita. It's just next to the Colombo harbor. There's a fishery harbor called Dikovita, and there you see this huge fishing crafts. Actually, they are running with Sri Lankan flag, though they are not really belongs to Sri Lanka. Like they maybe belongs to some other countries, but they are registered in Sri Lanka, and they have to come to, like after fishing, they have to come to the our ports for like for exporting or any purpose, right? So they are registered under the Sri Lankan, we call Sri Lankan flag, right? So these are all these craft actually took in from there. So you can see the size of the long line launcher, like the wrench that's being used for long line. It's a huge one, like it can like a bigger than a fiberglass boat. So these are commercial fishing craft that's being used, but not a common practice again. And this type of fishing craft, not again very common in Sri Lanka, but it's something very common in countries like Australia. Like in many houses, they own this kind of a boat they use for like a sport fishing, like with a trailer, with like a 4-wheel vehicle they can drag. Like in Australia, the most of people, they own this kind of boat, and like in the weekend they go fishing, right? Even the vehicle, like it's called like it's like a small house, a moving house. You have the kitchen and everything. You just park somewhere and go fishing, or you can stay in that place in the weekends, right? So that's, they are really like a fishing in some countries is like it's a hobby more than a livelihood, right? So but in Sri Lanka it's more on the livelihood than a hobby. Okay, so that's the like a purpose build some of the fishing crafts, like for seine, like operating purse seines. This called seining clipper or the seining fishing craft, the purposely built for that purpose, for with the winch and all these mechanism for hauling the seine nets, right? And there can be this kind of a large, it's called commercial fishing vessels. It's not only a vessel, actually it's called commercial fishing vessel plus a factory. It's called a factory ship. Like while they are catching the fish, they even do the processing inside the ship. So you get the end product, right? At the, you can do fishing for quite long period of time, and you can save a lot of time to go to the sea and come back. And they do the fishing throughout, and the like accessory vessels will go and there and collect the products which will bring to the land, and these vessels will keep on fishing, right? So that how the fishing crafts being used for like a commercial, truly commercial fishing craft, right? It can be a factory ship like this. For us, it's just like a dream. We don't have any of these things, right? So, all right. So that's the, well, other than that, there can be a little different craft, though they are not really fishing crafts, something like this. Now, bit of common scenery in Sri Lanka. These craft actually purposely built for whale watching and then for like for ecotourism purposes. Like this is Sri Lanka Navy on this one. Unfortunately, due to this COVID situation, otherwise like in the, like at least the special degree students at third years, usually I take them to like for a whale watching trip. We had a couple of times on one of these boats for like a field classes, something like this. Don't remind this thing, no? So we don't have any chance this time to go in this kind of a cruise, right? All right. So that's the end of the story about the fishing gear and craft in Sri Lanka. With that, I will conclude the today's session.